20 mind-blowing facts about Bahrain, the most unique country in the Middle East. Number 20. Bahrain has created 33 artificial islands to expand its national territory. If you look at a map of the Middle East and zoom in completely, you will notice a tiny country that could fit inside Houston, Texas. That country is Bahrain. Covering only about 300 square miles, Bahrain is the smallest country in the Middle East and the third smallest in Asia. Despite its small size, Bahrain has a population of approximately 1.5 million people, and it continues to grow steadily. The country needs more land to develop or simply to accommodate its residents. But war or territorial invasion is not an option, as Bahrain has no land borders with any neighboring countries. So they chose the only remaining solution, pushing the shoreline further out into the sea. Sea reclamation in Bahrain is not a modern story. Bahrain is home to the world's oldest artificial islands. Yes, the first country to create man-made islands near the Muharraq area had a small island called Al Sayah. Many researchers believe Al Sayah could be the oldest artificial island in the world, built at least about 1,200 years ago. This tiny island was not meant for permanent residents, but served as a freshwater refuge for fishermen and pearl divers. Moving into the 20th century, Bahrain built dikes, dumped sand, and filled land meter by meter, expanding its living space from the sea itself. Starting in the 1960s, just before and after independence in 1971, the first sea defenses appeared around Manama and Muharraq. They dredged sand from the Persian Gulf seabed, layered it thickly onto shallow waters, compacted it, and reinforced it with stone and concrete. Each new square meter of land was not an island, but actual land, sturdy enough to build houses, highways, schools, and hospitals. In the 1980s and 1990s, this process accelerated significantly. Disconnected islands gradually connected through reclamation and bridges, forming the familiar shape of Bahrain today. By the 2000s, large-scale projects like Amwaj Islands and Durat Al Bahrain emerged. But these are not just scenic islands. Amwaj is a fully developed residential area with schools, hospitals, and marinas. People live, work, and raise families on land created from sand. Durat, with its semicircular islands designed to withstand strong waves and currents, reflects Bahrain's pragmatic approach to long-term stability. So, from 50 natural, scattered, and isolated islands, they added 33 artificial islands through reclamation projects, bringing the total to about 83. Although there is no single national bill for these efforts, combining projects from the 1970s to the 2010s shows Bahrain has spent roughly $30 to $40 billion on land reclamation and dams. On average, each square kilometer of new land can cost between $40 and $80 million, depending on water depth and infrastructure. In return, the country's land area has increased by 10 to 12%. Including connecting reclaimed areas, nearly one-fifth of Bahrain today is artificial land. Unlike Dubai, Bahrain does not showcase mega projects for publicity. They proceed slowly and quietly because just one failure in the dike or reclamation system could directly impact the lives of millions. Number 19. The best place for foreigners to settle. When thinking of the best places for foreigners to live and work, many might consider the United States, Australia, Singapore, or European countries, but the reality is different. Based on a survey of over 12,500 people from 188 countries and territories, InterNations ranks Bahrain as the most favorable place for expatriates. So, what makes Bahrain special? First, education is completely free for residents from kindergarten through high school, and top students can receive full scholarships to prestigious universities in the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia. Additionally, men and women often study separately, sometimes in schools dedicated solely to one gender. Even better, all students enjoy free meals and free textbooks. Regarding healthcare, Bahrainis do not pay for medical visits at public hospitals, even for surgery, and the quality of healthcare here is comparable to anywhere else. The government also protects citizens' wallets through social housing subsidies. Many young Bahraini families cannot afford private homes in Manama, so the government intervenes with low-interest loans, ranging from 0 to 1%, or free land grants for newlyweds. Thanks to this policy, by 2023, over 60,000 households had received subsidized housing, representing about 15% of the entire population. Moreover, Bahrain is the first Gulf country to implement unemployment benefits. Yes, you heard right. Workers who suddenly lose their jobs can receive up to $800 per month for 6 months, plus job placement assistance. Vulnerable groups are not left behind either. Disabled individuals receive $300 in monthly living allowances, and children from low-income families receive monthly support. Interestingly, the government not only gives money, but also invests in livelihood innovation. Through the Tamkeen Fund, citizens can borrow startup capital, learn trades, or retrain. As of 2024, over 150,000 Bahrainis have benefited from this program, including bakers, yoga studio owners, and software developers. What do you think about these generous policies? Would you choose Bahrain? If yes, comment 2. If you want to hear about some disadvantages, comment 10 below, and we will share more details. Number 18. Women allowed by law to marry at age 15. What do you think is an appropriate age for women to get married? Scientists often suggest an age range from 25 to the early 30s. Of course, depending on lifestyle and differences in puberty, the suitable age can vary from country to country. However, most experts agree that women should have psychological maturity, life experience, a stable career, and a clear understanding of themselves before marriage. But in Bahrain, women are legally allowed to marry at age 15. That is true. Under Bahrain's family law, the minimum legal age for marriage is set at 16 for females and 18 for males. However, the law also gives Sharia courts the authority to approve exceptions, allowing marriage under the age of 16 if a judge considers it appropriate. In practice, this means that legal marriages at age 15 can still occur. This is the reason many human rights organizations argue that Bahrain's laws effectively legalize very early marriage, and they continue to campaign to raise the minimum marriage age for both men and women to 18, with no exceptions. However, while marriage may be legally permitted from age 15, the legal age for intimate relationships in Bahrain is set at 21. In other words, a marriage can be legally recognized many years before married life is considered fully lawful under criminal law. Any behavior that goes beyond what the law allows before the age of 21 can lead to criminal charges, including prison sentences. This overlap creates a major question. How can a marriage recognized by the state be required to exist for years under such strict legal limitations? This paradox is exactly why Bahrain has repeatedly been urged by United Nations committees, including the CRC and CEDAW, to amend its laws to align with the international agreements it has signed. Yet according to reports from the period between 2018 and 2020, more than 11% of registered marriages involved individuals in the 15 to 19 age group. However, if one argues that Bahrain allows marriage too early, it is also important to recognize that there are other modern countries around the world where the law permits early marriage. Even in Massachusetts, a U.S. state, the law does not clearly set a specific minimum age for marriage. Based on a controversial legal precedent from 1854, males as young as 14 and females as young as 12 may still marry with parental consent and court approval. Although the process is tightly controlled and faces strong opposition today, this precedent still exists within the state's legal system. Number 17. Women and the hidden sides. Few know about. Bahraini women often have alluring tan skin, large eyes with a distinct Arab look, thick eyelashes, and shiny black hair, a captivating beauty that stands out with a Middle Eastern glam style. What's special is that, although many still wear traditional clothing, they have a refined sense of style and aren't afraid to mix Western fashion with local cultural elements. Bahraini women are considered some of the most progressive and dynamic women in the Muslim world. They have the right to vote, drive, attend college, own property, and even hold leadership positions in government and business, something that many other Muslim countries, like Saudi Arabia, have only recently started to allow. Bahraini women also have a very high level of education. Many study engineering, medicine, and law, showing strong confidence, independence, and ambition to succeed in modern society. Their beauty is a unique blend of Middle Eastern elegance and the softness and grace influenced by South Asian culture, which makes them especially attractive to foreigners. However, despite these advances, Bahraini women still face many barriers and stereotypes. In some conservative communities, Women are expected to marry young, uphold family honor, and take on traditional roles within the family. Certain laws related to divorce, child custody, or inheritance remain unequal, putting many women at a disadvantage in legal disputes. Compared to more open Muslim countries like Tunisia or Indonesia, Bahraini women are still finding a balance between modernity and tradition. Number 16. A stable place with high income for foreign workers. Bahrain is not only a great place for foreigners to settle down, but it is also one of the most stable and attractive destinations for skilled foreign workers. This small island nation is about 200 times smaller than the state of Florida, yet it is home to around 1.5 million people, nearly half of whom are expatriates from India, Pakistan, the Philippines, Nepal, Europe, and North America. A global survey by HSBC Expat once surprised many by ranking Bahrain as the second-best country in the world for foreigners to work in, just after Germany, and ahead of well-known expatriate hubs such as the United Arab Emirates, Singapore, and Hong Kong. This study was based on feedback from over 22,000 global workers and evaluated key factors including work-life balance, job security, career advancement opportunities, employee benefits, and the ability to save money. In the 2018 Expat Explorer ranking, Bahrain continued to appear among the top 5 best countries for expatriates to live in. One of the biggest advantages is tax-free personal income, along with housing, education, and transportation allowances. According to Gulf Business magazine, the average salary in Bahrain in 2023 was about $7,800 per month. Among high earners, chief executive officers of multinational corporations can make $30,000 to $33,000 per month. Lawyers earn around $8,000, and human resources directors earn over $7,000. Even mid-level positions in finance, engineering, or technology usually fall between $4,000 and $6,000 per month, which is significantly higher than the average cost of living in Bahrain. The Bahraini dinar is also tightly pegged to the United States dollar, helping incomes remain stable despite global currency fluctuations. Many foreign professionals choose to live in Bahrain while working in the oil-rich eastern provinces of Saudi Arabia, thanks to the King Fahd Causeway, which stretches about 15.5 miles and allows for daily commuting. Beyond oil and gas, banking and Islamic finance represent the largest non-oil economic sectors, with Bahrain once widely regarded as the financial center of the Muslim world. Number 15. Bahrain brought Formula One racing to the Middle East. Bahrain is the first country in the Middle East to host a Formula One race, and it remains a key player in global F1 racing. In 2004, the Bahrain International Circuit opened in the Sakhir Desert, becoming the first F1 track in the region. The 5.412-kilometer circuit features 15 turns and was designed by German architect Hermann Tilke, a familiar name to F1 fans. Amid vast sands, a modern racetrack with a capacity of around 70,000 spectators was built, immediately joining the official Formula One calendar. The Bahrain Grand Prix quickly made its mark with long straights, sharp braking zones, and the desert's extreme conditions, where temperature and sandstorms can shift strategies within just a few laps. It was also one of the first circuits to host night races, with massive lighting systems transforming the desert into a stage of lights for F1. In the 2004 inaugural race, Michael Schumacher won, marking a historic moment for Bahrain and the Middle East. Longtime Formula One fans still remember the thrill of watching cars race across the desert sands. Fast forward to this season, Bahrain's circuit remains crucial. It is often the season opener, where teams reveal their strategies after testing. Car technology, rules, and regulations continue to evolve, but Bahrain remains one of the toughest tests for engines, tires, and race tactics. And while many seasons have shown that Bahrain's results can forecast the championship outcome for the rest of the year, notice something interesting. Many drivers and teams often say, if the car performs well in Bahrain, it can perform anywhere. Number 14. Passport Island, a unique border between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. In the blue waters of the Persian Gulf, where sands and waves constantly compete for territory, lies a strange artificial island called Passport Island. It is situated on the King Fahd Causeway, connecting Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Passport Island covers about 0.88 square kilometers, roughly 0.34 square miles, and is precisely divided between the two countries. Yes, both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia control the island. On the Bahraini side, there is a solemn Islamic mosque and a McDonald's serving familiar fast food. On the Saudi side, there is also a mosque, along with a kudu store, an iconic fast food chain in the region. This symmetry creates the feeling of stepping into a Middle Eastern version of Disneyland, where everything is perfectly arranged and slightly humorous. Interestingly, although no one lives permanently on the island, it serves as the operational site for staff of the King Fahd Bridge Authority. They live in buildings located at the island's center, ensuring the smooth operation of border control and related services. On weekends, up to 27,000 vehicles cross the bridge each day, causing traffic congestion and wait times of up to 3 hours. To address this, both countries plan to expand the bridge to 45 lanes and even construct a second bridge with an integrated rail link. Number 13. A land where luxury cars are everywhere. If you thought wealth was only about numbers on paper or economic reports, Bahrain will change your perspective. With a per capita income of over $50,000 and its dinar ranking as the second strongest currency in the world, Bahrain is a land where extravagance is the norm. Luxury cars here are not just transportation, they are a lifestyle statement. Along Sheikh Khalifa Avenue, it feels like an international car show. A Bugatti Veyron with gold accents parked beside a Ferrari LaFerrari, and Lamborghini Aventador SVs lined up as if they are waiting for a photo shoot. In upscale neighborhoods, Porsche GT2 models, Mercedes G63 AMGs, and even Maserati MC12 cars are common, treated as weekend toys for the wealthy. Bahrain's supercar collection, known as the Collection 1, curated by the famous M. Coar, is well known on social media worldwide. Bahrain is also a favorite summer destination for Gulf royalty, who often migrate their entire fleets of luxury cars to Europe, especially London. Even renowned car photographers like Pepper Yandel are amazed by the lifestyle here, where a single night on the top floors of the Burj Al Arab can cost $80,000. Yet this level of spending is simply routine for the Gulf elite. Number 12. The pearl diving tradition. Few realize that before Japan popularized pearl farming, Bahrain was considered the birthplace of the highest quality natural pearls in the world. This tradition is so old that on Muharraq Island there is still the Bahrain Pearling Trail, a 3.5-kilometer route where pearl divers have worked and lived since around 2000 BC. For ancient Bahrainis, pearl diving was not just a livelihood, it was a ritual, a prestigious profession, and a core part of their identity. Every summer, fleets set sail at dawn. Divers, dressed in traditional attire, used wooden nose clips, carried mesh baskets, and dove into the blue waters of the Persian Gulf on a single breath, with no tanks and no machinery, relying solely on experience, stamina, and trust. During its golden age, Bahrain had over 30,000 pearl divers each season. The profession was known as the glory of diving from the sun and returning with the treasure of the sea. The importance of this tradition is so significant that UNESCO officially recognized the Bahrain Pearling Trail as a World Heritage Site in 2012, under the name Pearling, Testimony of an Island Economy. Today, although the number of divers has declined sharply, pearl diving remains a living heritage. The Bahraini government strictly regulates the activity, and to dive legally, a special permit is required. Tourists can even join traditional pearl diving experiences and, if lucky, retrieve a natural pearl from the seabed in the clear waters of the Persian Gulf. Number 11. The U.S. considers Bahrain a strategic military location. Despite its tiny size, Bahrain holds one of the most strategically important military and economic positions in the Middle East. For decades, the United States has maintained a broad military presence in the region, with about 40,000 to 50,000 troops stationed at least 19 bases. Among them, Bahrain hosts one of the largest United States military concentrations, serving as a key hub for naval, air, logistics, intelligence, and rapid deployment operations across the region. The centerpiece is Naval Support Activity Bahrain, a United States naval base established in 1971 on the former HMS Jufair British base. NSA is part of the United States Naval Forces Central Command, commonly known as CENTCOM, with around 9,000 personnel, including military and civilian staff. It is the headquarters of the United States Fifth Fleet, responsible for protecting ships, aircraft, and infrastructure across the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, the Red Sea, parts of the Indian Ocean, and the critical maritime choke points of the Strait of Hormuz, the Suez Canal, and the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. Since 1995, the Fifth Fleet has based all United States naval operations in the Gulf at Bahrain, making it an indispensable hub for global energy security and international trade. Alongside its military role, Bahrain is also a regional financial center. The United States-Bahrain Free Trade Agreement of 2006 made Bahrain the first Gulf country to gain duty-free access to the United States market. Today, international financial institutions cluster around Manama Financial Harbor and the Bahrain World Trade Center. Remarkably, despite a population of just over 1 million, Bahrain places strong emphasis on national defense, shaped by a long history of invasions and regional conflict. The country maintains a standing force of about 13,000 soldiers, equipped with fighter jets and armored vehicles, making it one of the most capable militaries in the Gulf. Its defense budget per capita averages around $935.8, ranking 9th worldwide, with nearly $1.4 billion spent on the military in 2017 alone. Number 10. Year-round festivals. Although a Muslim country, Bahrain boasts a lively festival scene nearly all year, reflecting an unusually open culture for the Gulf region. Early in the year, the Bahrain Spring Festival kicks off a series of major cultural events featuring artists from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Visitors can enjoy theater, traditional puppet shows, symphonies, jazz, and world music. Come summer, when the desert heat is intense, the Summer Festival transforms large shopping malls into indoor entertainment hubs for families. Folk games, food festivals, interactive stages, and children's shows run continuously, turning the scorching season into a cool festival season, a signature Bahrain experience. At the same time, the Bahrain Shopping Festival draws crowds with major discounts combined with art performances and street food. During Ramadan, the festival atmosphere shifts entirely. Ramadan bazaars and night markets spring up across Manama and Muharraq, selling local delicacies, sweets, embroidered clothing, and rich oud perfumes. Despite their religious significance, these markets are bustling social spaces where people gather after sunset, blending sacred tradition with strong community spirit. At the end of the year, Bahrain showcases its East-West cultural fusion. The Bahrain Jazz Fest and Gulf Night Out attract thousands of international visitors to enjoy live music by the bay, savor coffee, and sample European-style cuisine. The national holiday, celebrated on December 16th through December 17th, turns the entire country into a giant street festival with fireworks, parades, air shows, and outdoor concerts lasting several days. Major global events such as Formula One Grand Prix Week also become speed festivals, combining motorsport, music, and nighttime entertainment. Number 9. 50,000 tourists visit each year just to see one tree. Every year, about 50,000 tourists brave the desert heat just to see a single tree. Yes, not a forest, not an oasis, just the tree of life, also known as Shajarat al-Hayat, standing alone in the Arabian desert about 24.85 miles from Manama. The tree is 32 feet tall with a wide canopy, and most astonishingly, it has survived for over 400 years in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Historical records suggest this is a mesquite tree, originally from the Americas, believed to have been planted around 1583. Since then, it has stood in complete isolation amid endless sand, with no rivers, no streams, and no confirmed underground water sources nearby. From a distance, it appears modest. But up close, its gnarled branches twist and sag, supported by wooden poles with low-hanging limbs nearly touching the scorching sand. Despite its great age and the extreme heat, drought, and arid air, the tree remains lush and green. This resilience has turned the Tree of Life into a national symbol of Bahrain. Local folklore even claims it is the last remaining trace of the Garden of Eden. Scientific questions, however, continue to surround it. How does it survive? Researchers, including a team from the Smithsonian Institution, have studied the tree extensively and proposed multiple hypotheses. Some believe its roots extend dozens of meters deep, tapping into ancient underground aquifers. Others suggest it absorbs tiny amounts of moisture from early morning dew, from the air, or even from the sand itself, quantities far too small for humans to detect. There is even a controversial theory that the tree may absorb nutrients linked to underground oil deposits. No definitive answer exists so far, and that mystery only deepens its allure. Pause for a moment and consider this. While millions of reforestation projects around the world fail, and countless trees die from drought and extreme heat, how can a single solitary tree survive for more than 4 centuries? If scientists could clone this species or fully understand its survival mechanisms, could it revolutionize desert afforestation across the Middle East, Africa, and other arid regions increasingly affected by climate change? Number 8. The world's largest underwater theme park. When people think of water parks, they often imagine giant glass tanks, acrylic tunnels, or artificial water slides. But Bahrain took a completely different route and now holds the record for the world's largest underwater amusement park. Dive Bahrain is not on land. There is no entrance fee chaos and no loud music. Covering over 100,000 square meters, roughly the size of 25 soccer fields, it is entirely submerged beneath the sea. To enter, you must dive down. Compared to famous diving spots where visitors only encounter shipwrecks or natural coral reefs, Dive Bahrain feels like a city deliberately designed for the ocean. The centerpiece is a real Boeing 747, intentionally sunk to become the largest artificial coral reef ever created from an airplane. Its massive fuselage, stretching several tens of meters in length, is now covered in rust and marine life, with windows, passenger cabins, and the cockpit serving as habitats for fish and coral. But Dive Bahrain is not just a novelty check-in spot. Unlike typical reefs that form randomly over time, this underwater park was carefully planned from the beginning. It features submerged models of traditional Bahraini houses, underwater sculptures, and artificial reef blocks placed to attract marine life and guide natural water flow. The result is an ecosystem that grows and evolves every day, making Dive Bahrain far more than a visual spectacle. It is a living, breathing marine laboratory, often more captivating than ordinary dive sites. Another defining feature is its environmental philosophy. While many coastal tourism projects damage fragile ecosystems, Dive Bahrain was created as a large-scale marine conservation effort. All materials used are environmentally friendly, designed to prevent pollution and encourage coral attachment and growth. As a result, the park not only attracts divers from around the world, but also serves as a natural research site for scientists studying fish behavior, coral recovery, and ocean regeneration within a deliberately designed underwater environment. Number 7. The Gulf country that discovered oil first but isn't wealthy from it. Bahrain is a unique case in Middle Eastern oil history. It was the first country in the Gulf to discover oil, with the first well flowing strongly on June 2, 1932, after testing began in late 1931. This made Bahrain the first Arab Gulf nation to have oil. However, contrary to the common perception that oil-rich countries are immensely wealthy, Bahrain's oil reserves are relatively small compared to neighbors like Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, and recent production has hovered around 40,000 barrels per day. Historically, Bahrain relied heavily on fishing, pearl diving, and coastal trade. When the pearl market declined, residents were forced to search for new sources of income, and oil became the turning point. The Citra oil refinery, built in the late 1930s, is widely considered the Gulf's first refining plant and a powerful symbol of Bahrain's transition from a traditional economy to industrialization. By the 1960s and 1970s, Bahrain recognized the limits of oil dependence and began diversifying early, much earlier than many countries in the Gulf Cooperation Council, often referred to as the GCC. Instead of relying solely on what was known as black gold, Bahrain expanded into banking, finance, tourism, and light manufacturing, transforming Manama into a major regional financial hub. Economic reforms accelerated after Bahrain became the first GCC nation to sign a free trade agreement with the United States in 2006. allowing 100% foreign ownership of businesses and further attracting international investment. Today, oil accounts for only about 11 to 16% of Bahrain's gross domestic product, with finance, services, and tourism leading economic growth. According to the World Bank, Bahrain is classified as a high-income country with a gross domestic product per capita, adjusted for purchasing power parity, of about $51,956, ranking 13th globally. Its Human Development Index stands at 0.824, placing Bahrain 47th out of 182 countries worldwide. Number 6. UNESCO designates Bahrain's cemetery as a World Heritage Site. It may sound unusual, but this site is not a modern cemetery. Instead, it is an ancient burial mound complex that is over 4,200 years old. In 2019, UNESCO officially recognized it as Bahrain's third World Heritage Site. Nearly 11,800 tombs remain scattered across valleys and open fields. 6 main areas contain countless small burial mounds ranging from dozens to thousands, along with 15 royal burial sites. These include 17 intricately constructed 2-tier tomb towers built for rulers and aristocrats. The tombs date from around 2200 BC to 1750 BC, during the Dilmun period, when Bahrain served as a vital trade gateway linking the Gulf, Mesopotamia, and India. The striking differences in tomb size and structure reveal a highly stratified society where social status continued even after death. Inside each mound, layers of earth and gravel conceal stone burial chambers holding skeletal remains and grave goods. These items reflect strong beliefs in an afterlife and include local pottery, Mesopotamian artifacts, jewelry made from ivory and ostrich eggshells, string beads, and even inscribed stone fragments bearing royal names such as Yagalel. Sadly, this buried wealth often made the tombs targets for ancient looters. The effort to understand this extraordinary heritage has unfolded over more than 150 years. It began with excavations in 1889 by British explorers Theodore and Mabel Bent, followed by groundbreaking discoveries by Danish archaeologists in the 1950s. Their research confirmed Bahrain as the heart of the Dilmun civilization. Today, archaeological teams from Bahrain, Japan, and France continue to excavate and study these sites, uncovering new insights into ancient beliefs and social life from 4 millennia ago. Although modern urban expansion has erased much of the original landscape, experts estimate that Bahrain once held over 350,000 burial mounds. Today, 21 areas are preserved, containing nearly 12,000 intact tombs. Together, they form a rare archaeological landscape where history quite literally rises from the earth, stretching toward the horizon. Number 5. Nightlife as a miniature world. When darkness falls and the desert sun's heat fades, Bahrain transforms into a vibrant, almost magical world, alive with Middle Eastern charm and a touch of 1001 Nights mystique. Oh, in a country as hot as Bahrain, nighttime activity is perfectly normal. The aroma of oud and incense fills the air, mingling with rich Arabic coffee. Street vendors, usually older men in long white thobes and wrapped headscarves, call out while weighing colorful spice bags: turmeric, cinnamon, nutmeg, and saffron. Along ancient stone sidewalks, cafes stay open late into the night, where locals chat for hours. Gossip is as important as news, and sharing a funny story is a social asset. Women, often dressed in black abayas, wear glamorous fashion underneath, high heels and French perfumes, and stroll in groups while speaking a mix of English and Arabic. They stop at gold shops to try on earrings or intricate bracelets. In places like Bab al-Bahrain Night Market, you will find traditional Middle Eastern games, such as ring tosses for perfumes or embroidered scarves. Traffic is not heavy, but people move steadily, creating a gentle flow like a slow melody. Yellow taxis, small electric cars, and vintage vehicles weave through the crowd, illuminated by orange lanterns hanging everywhere. Number 4. The traditional public bathhouse. Hammam Bahrain. While Bahrain today is known for skyscrapers and shopping malls, its historic public bathhouses, known as hammams, remain an integral part of local life. These are not merely places to wash. They function as centers for social interaction, relaxation, and healing, deeply rooted in Middle Eastern culture. Bahraini hammams are decorated with artistic patterns carved from granite and wood, creating calm, meditative spaces that contrast sharply with the fast-paced world outside. Many locals visit after dinner, often late into the night, with sessions lasting 2 to 3 hours. Hammams do more than cleanse the body. They offer a range of health benefits. Traditional treatments include massage, black soap exfoliation, and steam infused with herbs, all of which help improve circulation and support natural detoxification. Research has shown that these therapies reduce stress and enhance mental well-being. According to Bahrain's health ministry, about 70% of residents regularly visit hammams for relaxation and long-term health maintenance. Number 3. Jewelry stores open 24/7. Paradise for jewelry lovers. In Manama's Gold City shopping district, a surprising phenomenon occurs. Jewelry shops stay open around the clock. This makes Bahrain a paradise for jewelry enthusiasts. Imagine shopping for fresh produce at an American market, except here, it is shimmering gold jewelry. The displays feature intricate designs from India, the Middle East, and beyond, with gold pieces that sparkle under bright lights. What makes it even more remarkable is that Bahrainis love to shop for gold at all hours. Many stores operate until 2 or 3 in the morning, well past typical American retail hours. Local experts estimate that nightly sales in Gold City can reach over $1 million, with vast quantities of gold traded in ounces, on a scale comparable to major jewelry districts in Los Angeles or New York. Number 2. Bahraini cuisine is incredibly healthy. Like Japan, Bahrain boasts a high per capita income but relies heavily on food imports, with only about 2.82% of its land being arable. Despite this limitation, scientific studies from the American Heart Association and BMJ show that Middle Eastern diets rich in lean proteins, olive oils, nuts, vegetables, and whole grains can reduce the risks of heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Bahrain exemplifies this so-called golden diet. Picture a typical Bahraini lunch: a plate of makbuz, fragrant rice seasoned with turmeric, cinnamon, and coriander, served with chicken or fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids to support heart health. Dinner might be nashif, a hearty stew made with small pieces of meat and soft potatoes in a rich tomato sauce, ideal for those watching their weight. Or perhaps quozi, a whole roasted lamb stuffed with spices and grains, usually reserved for special occasions. Fresh tabbouleh, a parsley, tomato, and bulgur salad adds a refreshing touch, with about 100 to 150 calories per serving. For dessert, dates high in fiber or dried apricots rich in potassium are common, offering natural sweetness along with clear health benefits. Culturally, Bahraini cuisine emphasizes enjoying meals with family and sharing dishes around a communal table. During festivals such as Eid or Ramadan, families gather to savor these traditional foods together. When invited to a Bahraini home, if the meal is served on the floor, sit cross-legged or kneel respectfully. Never point your feet toward the food or other guests, and always eat with your right hand. Number 1. Cost of living in Bahrain. Living in Bahrain can surprise many, especially those accustomed to cities like New York or London. Housing is a major expense. In Manama, the capital, a modern one-bedroom apartment in the city center costs about $650 to $900 per month. If you choose to live outside the city center, costs drop to around $450. Many apartment buildings include amenities such as swimming pools, fitness gyms, and 24-hour, 7-day security, luxuries that are often reserved only for the wealthy in Western cities. Food costs are generally reasonable. Dining at local restaurants can cost just $5 to $8 per meal. For international or upscale dining, prices usually range from $15 to $30 per person. A standard international cappuccino costs about $4, similar to prices at Starbucks in the United States. Grocery shopping for a week may cost $60 to $80, depending on your preferences. Imported products such as French cheese or Australian beef are more expensive, but local produce is affordable and fresh. Transportation is economical thanks to very low fuel prices, at about $1.25 per gallon due to government subsidies. Taxis and ride-hailing services are widely available. but many expatriates choose to rent cars for $300 to $400 per month, including basic insurance. Overall, total monthly living expenses typically range from $1,000 to $1,500. Would you consider Bahrain a good place for travel or long-term residence? If yes, comment 1. If not, comment 0. If you are genuinely interested and would like to visit Bahrain, comment 7, and we will provide visa information, entry requirements, and other helpful details. We have just explored the beautiful land of Bahrain together. Thank you for watching today's travel documentary all the way to the end. We hope you will continue to join us on our next journeys as we discover more wonders of the world.